Welcome to, we don't want to announce a new podcast, but we are going to start chatting with each other and we're going to
Yes,
share
yes.
it.
Yeah, this
Um,
is a do-over.
yeah, I think we both have our own podcast and we started one together many years ago, which was so funny because it popped up on our Facebook memories the exact time we're like, hey, we should like do this again. So here we are
Hmm.
doing it again.
I know. And we have so much more to talk about now, Siobhan, because
I know.
we're in different careers and we're really settled in them and we love what we do and we've been on our own journeys too. We've been exploring a lot, so it's great. It's a wonderful opportunity to talk
Yes.
and hopefully to help.
Yes, absolutely to help. And every
Mm,
time we have our own chats about all things mental health, because that's obviously our industry and our love, passion, obsession, we're always like, this would be great on a podcast if we chatted on a podcast. So we need to mentally take notes for these discussions.
totally agree. Totally agree. So what is this show going to be about then?
I believe all things that are popping up for us with clients, with our own mental health, with their mental health.
Yeah.
Um, And I feel like just what we're being pulled to talk about because we talk about many different things. So, yeah, all the things.
Over dinner.
Yeah, dog
Yeah.
walks, all the
Over
things.
dog walk, basically all the time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking a lot about anxiety lately today. So did you want to start there?
Yeah. Do you know what I'd love to start with? One of my clients asked me this week when we were on an online call, he said, oh, do you ever get low? Like, does your mental health ever get really
Mm.
low? And how do you come back out of it? um, and which is obviously related to anxiety because I was discussing with you then when I said that he asked me that is that every single month I experience my endometriosis flare-ups, and that's always the
Yeah.
lowest point so far of my mental health, where I'm in a flare-up and the thoughts are extremely low thoughts, probably more so suicidal thoughts, I would say, because
Yeah.
the
It's
pain
really
is that
bad.
bad. And I've obviously, as some people know, have been in hospital because of shock, because the pain's that bad. And my mental health is at an all-time low. And then the next day, I have to get back up and hold space for other people and get out of that hellhole that is endometriosis. So
So what keeps you going though? Like, because that's so like literally cyclical,
yeah,
and to experience that, it's foreboding every month. Your anxiety is beginning to rise um, as you enter into your luteal phase, right? Before you actually get your period.
yep,
And you experience these horrible dark thoughts, what what keeps you going, Vaughn?
my dogs. I have to get up and walk my dogs the next day.
So tell us about that.
Well, it's a lot of things that keep me going. You know, one is like I don't want the endometriosis to win. I've obviously got you and the dogs. I love my work. I love what I do. And because I get it every month, it's like good and bad because the good thing I know is that it's gonna end. Like it has an end time for me personally. So I'm like, okay, this is gonna end. I'll get
Mm,
out of it. I just have to survive these 24 hours. And when I can survive it, I get back out of it. And my tools, like I always say, breathwork changed my life. It changes my life with endometriosis. I have space to grieve. I have space to get rid of the frustration and the anger. And then that belly breath is literally in my womb space. So I create some space in there, release the tension. I always say breathwork's like my one-stop shop, and it is for my endometriosis for sure. Mm.
but you just think about some of those ideas there, like you think about something other than yourself, you know, um, and you have a tool. And this is something that you always say, right? That we always talk about in that anxiety, as difficult as it is to contend with, is it's all about the self, right? It's by
Yes.
definition an overly selfish emotion. Now, I don't mean that to be mean because oftentimes people who have experienced tremendous trauma, parental neglect, abuse, there's just this constant feeling of unsafety. So they carry around this overwhelming sense of threat, which is selfish. But one of the ways that we can start to work through it is obviously therapeutically, building a safe relational space, building rapport, getting to know them, helping them access some of these feelings that are uncomfortable,
Mm,
but beginning to befriend them. But then also, to your point, thinking beyond the self, thinking about something else. Sometimes that's God or the universe. I know that's for you, right?
mm-hmm,
But also just others. And it's
mm,
amazing how gratitude is the practice of thinking about what you have and how and other people in your life and how getting outside of our own narratives is so healing, you
mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah, it's so true. But I don't want to dismiss how fucking hard it is when you're in there. It's
Totally.
so
Totally.
tough when you're in there. But his question was like, how do you come out of that? So
Mm,
it's using the tools, finding something that's bigger than yourself. So for me, it's like you guys and the dogs and work and that helps me. So I guess like if you don't have that, it's about really trying to explore that because it does help. It does help to pull you out of yourself and reduce the anxiety.
yeah. Yeah. Totally agree. Yeah. It's
Mm.
always funny, isn't it, when people are like, do you get low? It's like, well,
I'm a human.
therapist is a hat that we wear. It's not who we are,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. But I think
It's like,
that's why I thought it was a beautiful question because it's like, hey, I'm a human too.
yeah, 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 totally. And God, how much have I benefited from having my own therapists, and doing my own personal work and all the shit that you and I have worked through and are still working through, will always be working through, you know?
Exactly.
It's just, we're all here for a very short time and we're all trying to figure it out.
Mm,
And someone chose to pursue a career in mechanical engineering. You and I decided to talk to people for a living, but it doesn't make us any different or superior.
no, absolutely not. And that's why I think it's important to talk about these low times as well and how we come out of it too.
Yeah.
And you've recently discovered how breath work is helping you as well after how
hmm
many years of being with someone that facilitates it.
Well, we met 9 years ago,
Hmm.
I think. Yeah. Married for coming up to two.
Hmm.
But yeah, I never really, like looking back, I always did. I did I did breath work. I mean, you would probably debate that because you were watching me sometimes like fall asleep or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the past couple of weeks have been really profound for me. I had a really big anxiety spike reading a book, and I felt that I had no other alternative other than to just get into my nervous system and calm my nervous system down to the point where I could begin to work through what the anxiety was trying to teach me. Because, we both totally accept the fact that anxiety is a teacher if you can
Hmm.
work with it, just like depression is a teacher, like any difficulty is a teacher.
Yeah.
Suffering is suffering begets purpose, right?
Mm.
Um, but God, I've released so much from breath work lately, Vonnie, as you know. Just so much about my parents, so many walls breaking down through that. And I've had a great upbringing. I've been very lucky, sobbing constantly, crying, heaps of journaling, um, really coming to recognize just how lost I'd gotten in academia, which is not about academia, it's about my relationship to academia,
Hmm.
and just recognizing how much I miss being a human being in the world, with friends and being creative and doing all sorts of things that I couldn't do when I was deep in my masters. And I don't know if I would be where I am now without breath work because it's so calming and it allows the nervous system to slow down to the point where you can really feel safely what the anxiety or the frustration, those higher order emotions are trying to prevent you from feeling.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's so true. So looking back now on the Masters, do you feel like you would tell the Tom then that, okay, we need to try and sense or explore some kind of balance here? Or, how do you look back at that now?
Well, I don't think he would have listened because he was super ego driven, on a quest for his own significance.
Yeah.
But definitely, yeah, I would have slowed it down. I would have balanced it out with meditation and journaling and catching up with friends and family. You and I doing more like, I don't know, date nights, learning to cook together, like we're learning to cook now, stuff like that.
Mm.
yeah, I just think this incessant pursuit of a goal is, well, I'll speak on my behalf. It was damaging,
Yeah.
and I think what a lot of the material um, is doing to me right now is trying to get me to see that you're not. If you try to pursue your own specialness, like look at me with this fancy degree, or look at me with this thing, then you're always going to collapse eventually because what does that tell you? I suppose it's that your worth is predicated on what you've achieved, not who you are.
Mm. Yeah,
You
and like
know?
we spoke out with anxiety, it's like, okay, so with that, who are you going to serve? Who are you going to help?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Like, look at me,
Exactly.
I got this,
Yes.
me, me. But what are you doing with it? You know?
Exactly. Yes. Yes. And that's what something that you and I both believe in very much is that you should pursue your own significance and grow as much as you can grow so that you can give back. Like you
Mm,
think about like a beautiful apple tree that grows and grows and grows until it ripens and bears fruit so that other people can enjoy. You know,
yes,
that's just such a
exactly.
classic model for life that you grow so that you can help. You grow so
Mm,
that you can help. And
yeah.
then life positivity attracts positivity. Um, and I mean, a classic example of this funny is what happened to you when you first did breath work. Like it was almost so obvious to you that breath work was so beneficial that you not only had, it was within 2 months that you realized how breath work is the gateway to deeper healing, and you have to be the one to teach it. So we put all of our money on our credit card to get you over to New Mexico so that you could do the course. But you knew
It's so
straight away,
true.
right? That like you had to find a way to give this to other people.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, back then, I was like, how do people not know about this? And I can't believe this has changed like every single area of my life, and it's helped me so much, and so much deep healing for me at the time.
Mm,
Yeah, it's changed my life. I give
yeah.
always all my credit to it, you know. But, in our industry as well, I also believe that qualifications are extremely important
Yes,
and people do
that's
need them.
true.
And you're working with people's traumas and
Yeah.
you have to learn how to hold space for them. So at the same time, they're needed, but you also, want them to serve others as well.
Yeah. You can't identify with them. You're
Mm.
not, and that was my falling, I think, is because I began to identify with, look at me, because I've got this master's, but it was really very fragile, because then immediately started feeling, well, do I need to be enough? And will I only be enough when I have this PhD or whatever it is? But the purpose is to learn so that you can contribute. And I got lost in the learning as a quest for significance,
Mm.
like I was saying, whereas
Hmm.
you didn't do that. You immediately knew that, and with all your courses, it's always been about meditation teaching to teach and help, breath work, healing to
Mm.
help. Your equine therapy course, your diploma, your counseling diploma course, like you've always got this wonderful sense of wanting to give back and serve. It's one of the reasons why I love you so much. So I can learn a thing or two from you. Does that come naturally to you, Yvonne? Do you think?
I feel like when I think about the courses I have done, if I knew about equine assisted psychotherapy 6 years ago, that would have been the first thing I would have done, because even just
Yeah,
being
but I mean,
around.
like, yeah, I mean, like, have you always had this natural idea to give back and help and contribute? I don't know if this is because I'm a guy or, whatever it is, but you've always had this, like, I'm going to learn so that I can help beyond myself or whatever it is, unless
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
no, I don't think about it as helping others. I actually think about sharing the beauty of the work with others.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the way I think
Yep.
about it. I'm like,
That's
oh,
nice.
I experienced this beautiful breathwork class. I want everyone to do breathwork that I know.
That's
I
nice.
experienced this beautiful healing session with this horse. Oh my God, I want everyone to experience that. And when I did my meditation course, which was so amazing as well, and I also always believe that these courses make me hopefully a better breathwork facilitator by learning and knowing more or constantly growing in that space. Like I want people to experience how beautiful meditation can be.
Mm, mm,
But also knowing that some of these modalities are not for everyone too. So I'm
yeah.
very wary of how I share that. Breath work's not for everyone, equine therapy is not for everyone, meditation is not for everyone. So you're finding the tools that work for you. But if they are for you, like amazing, let's talk about it, let's share it. Like you have just like I said, like over 6 years later, discovered how much breath work is benefiting you right now. But you've done
Yeah.
like 6 years of it on and off, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just a stage in your life where you're absolutely loving it, you know? So finding your seasons, as I like to say.
Yeah. Might not be the right timing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
And you've also experienced equine assisted psychotherapy as well, you know?
Yeah, yeah, which is beautiful in and of itself because it's so experiential. I think
Hmm.
our industry is really starting to move away from the cognitive and more into the feeling and into the experiential. It's really obvious that, with the rise of somatic psychotherapies and Alan Shaw's research into the right brain, Gestalt, I mean, Gestalt's been around for a long time, but there's a very important pillar of the here and now,
Hmm.
with Gestalt and the and contact and what it's like to be with someone else, not as thinking or conceptual, but as seriously just being with. And there's so much more wisdom, I think, that comes from knowing a thing through feeling rather than intellectualizing a thing.
Yeah.
Um, and it's been true in my own healing journey, yours too. And I think it's a wonderful frontier that our industry is really engaged with.
Yeah. Well, in the work we both do, especially with my work is everything is right here, right now.
Exactly.
Like what's happening right here, right now in your body. It's with breath work, meditation, equine assisted psychotherapy. It's all what's here, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
when you're working with someone who's highly anxious and doesn't want to look deeper, which is totally fine because it might be too uncomfortable or overwhelming just in that moment, what are some things that you do to sort of help soften them into starting to embody, be more in their body more so that they can start to make contact with some of these deeper things?
Well, I guess if they're extremely anxious, I feel like it's about first moving some of that anxious energy. Obviously, like outside in nature is an absolute bonus, which is why I love EAP. So walking and moving the body outside and then starting to like take in the surroundings. Like, and one of the best things you did with me, well, this is before either of us, I don't think any of us were studying the mind or therapy then, were
I was
we?
studying my diploma of counseling.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So when I had my, oh no, it was one of my biggest panic attacks that I ever had. And you were like, what can you see? What can you hear? Feel, you know? So someone that's highly anxious, moving the body, so you move the anxious energy, but just like taking everything in, you know? And then
Yeah.
again, that's not about the self. Like you're kind of looking out, apart from obviously what can
Exactly.
you feel, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember I was telling you recently about Viktor Frankl's analogy of the healthy eye as akin
Yes,
to
share
the healthy
that.
self?
So beautiful. Yeah,
Brilliant.
I
Yeah.
love it.
The Viktor Frankl, very famous existential psychiatrist, I think he was, survived the Holocaust, and was really able to touch something greater than himself, or beyond himself in Auschwitz. It was obviously a death camp. And Man's Search for Meaning is a very, 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 very famous book.
Mm.
Um, but he said that a healthy self is very similar to a healthy eye. We know an eye is really healthy when we can't see it. An eye is really unhealthy when it's got something that's blocking it from seeing the world, like it's got, macular degeneration or even just like a little hair in your eye. We all know the feeling, um, or the morning gunk that you wake up with sometimes.
Mm.
But when there's nothing preventing the eye from seeing the world, the eye doesn't focus on itself. You don't even think about it, and that's the annoying paradox when it comes to anxiety,
Isn't
is
that when
that
you
if you're
can
thinking
see the eye?
when you can see the exactly, yeah,
Yeah, when you
exactly.
can
But
see
like
the eye. Yeah,
then that's not good.
yeah.
That's the point. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
because there's a block there that's directing all of your attention and focus onto the eye.
Yeah.
But this is why thinking about something other than yourself, exploring a gratitude practice. Tony Robbins, I think, says that you can't be grateful and fearful at the same time, or frustrated at the same
Mm.
time. You can't hold that at the same time. So gratitude practices, and they are a practice. I always want to stress this, that whenever we're talking about techniques that everyone in the world has heard about, They won't work on day one, just like going to the gym and getting a six pack won't work on day one. You know, you've got to flex this muscle. You've got to practice gratitude every day. A colleague of ours, Kristen, she practices gratitude all the time, constantly. She's constantly in that awareness of just seeing the good in the world, you know, and it's brilliant. I have so much gratitude to her because of
Yeah.
what she's teaching me about that.
Yeah, I love
But
that.
yeah, I just love that idea of like the healthy eye is an eye that can't see itself, and a healthy person is someone. It's like what Mahatma Gandhi said: you find yourself by giving yourself to the service of others.
Yes,
You know,
yes. I absolutely believe that for sure.
which you do well with animals, Vaughn. Very well.
Yeah. I'd love, love, love to open a rescue center to help more beagles, a rescue center for horses, long-term
Yeah,
goals, but that I would love that. But in the
yeah.
meantime, we'll just keep rescuing our little crew.
Rescuing, and donating. You know,
Yes.
doing what we can.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. Yeah.
Well, this has been a fun first episode.
I know. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Hopefully you guys love it too, and we can just bring out these little like short mini stints that you can listen to. Um yeah, and maybe you guys can ask some questions or talking points or anything you want us to discuss. And
Yep.
then at our end, we will keep all the notes for every single time we said this would be a great chat on a podcast. There's so many times, and I'm kind of devastated we didn't keep I didn't keep some notes, like a
Yeah.
notes folder for podcast topics.
I know, but we could do that. You know, if the listeners want to write questions in for us to discuss, hopefully that will be helpful as well. We can do that, um, and yeah, we just we see where it takes us.
Yeah, I love it. Anything else to add?
Um, no, always fun talking to you, Devon.
I know, you too. Well, let us know if you guys want some more, and hopefully you got something out of this wee show. Okay,
Bye bye.
thanks everyone.